Hi everyone. I have no idea what happened to my video yesterday. As far as I'm aware, it was full, and I upload it, and I get people telling me that it's cut off, which really pissed me off because I have no way of getting it back now. So with this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I was talking about then about heaven, and then something about the TFLers that I thought up about yesterday. I'm not sure when. I think it might have been watching All Babies Atheist videos, but one of his videos, but I'm not sure. So if you don't want to hear the same argument from yesterday, because it will be exactly the same, apart from the bits that you didn't see. But I mean, it will be the same, but you wouldn't have seen it. So if you want to skip past this, or don't watch this video, that's fine by me. So about heaven and what I was talking about yesterday. Everybody has their own different standards of happiness, and this can be seen when you think about people who don't have much money compared to people who are rich. These people could have a massive house, a slew of luxurious supercars, iPad and iPhone, a laptop, a super fast computer, surround sound, all these things. But they could still be bored. I mean, they could be walking around the house and they could be, oh God, I don't know, I don't have anything to do. But say if someone, because they got used to it, say if someone like me or someone else who, doesn't really have the money to have all these, luxurious amenities, and we got transplanted into their life, we would be absolutely ecstatic. I mean, I'm talking purely materialistically here, because, I'm not talking about love or friendship or anything like that, but purely from a materialistic standpoint, we would be ecstatic. We would have all these things that we've never had before, all these different options that are now open to us, and that, at least to me, would make me very happy. And so we all have our different standards of happiness, and we also have we all have our own sort of normal mood. So we all have this sort of mood that we're like, we're okay, which we feel most of the time. We're not too great, but then we're not really that bad either. And this is how we can gauge how what things make us happy and what things make us sad. Because if we're sad, then our mood is lower than usual, and if we're happy, then our mood is higher. So in heaven, we're always supposed to be happy all the time. I mean, I know they say that time doesn't exist there, but I can't really think of any other words to substitute for the word time, so I'll just keep on using it. Every point at which we are there, we're supposed to be with God, and we're supposed to be in a constant state of blissful, joyous happiness and all that good stuff. But I'm thinking that we'd be happy when we first got there, and we first died and we went to heaven. We would be very happy, but surely eventually we would get to a point where that being happy we would have gotten used to that so much that it would become our sort of new ordinary standard default mood, and it wouldn't make us as happy as it used to. In which case, God or whatever, it's going to have to try and bring our mood up again and try and elevate our mood in order so that we feel happiness and joyous again. And surely, however long it takes, we're going to get to a point where we are just going to be so overjoyed and happy and just completely in a state of bliss that we literally would not be able to take any more. Surely there would have to be some sort of limit, and if we reach, we're gonna reach that point since we're going to be in heaven forever, and so what's going to happen then? Because even at that point, even though we couldn't imagine being that happy, if we were like it for such a long amount of time, then it would become our standard normal mood, and we wouldn't be able to get any happier. So we're not really going to be happy for all time in heaven, really, are we? Because it will just become our, this sort of standard mood that we would have would just be, as happy and blissful as a spirit could ever be, if you see what I'm saying. And this is not only quite dangerous for, I think it would be quite dangerous, because if we think now, if we had a very, very slight disappointment, we wouldn't be that bad. But if we had got used to being completely and totally, overcome with happiness, even just the slightest disappointment would be completely devastating to our to our spiritual selves. I mean, if we're supposed to be feeling happiness, then surely we'd still be able to feel disappointment and things like that. And so, even just the slightest disappointment will just make us, feel as bad, and it would be the worst thing that could happen to anyone ever. Even just the slightest thing, because we would have gotten used to being completely happy all the time. So that's one of the other things that would I think that would be quite dangerous as well, especially if our spirits, I don't know, if they ever went somewhere else, or something like that happened. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but that's what I'm trying to say. Surely we'll get a time where we won't be able to get any happier, and it will just become our normal mood, and then what then? Surely we wouldn't be happy for for eternity. The second thing about the TFLs, the TFLers, True Force Loneliness people, made a few videos, thought up of this little tidbit. The TFLers really do seem to love to blame others, and I think the reason why is that that means that they don't have to do any work to improve themselves. They won't have to lose any weight. They won't have to cut their hair, shine their shoes, put on a nice, buy some new clothes or something. They could just stay as they are. And if they have this feeling that they're right, and that means they don't have to do anything with themselves. It's they're fine the way they are, and it's other people that are the problem. And seeing as there's nothing wrong with that person, then it's the fault of other people, and then this is where the egotism starts, where they think that they're the ones that are fine. It's just everyone else is fucked. And the thing is, they're kind of like creationists in the fact that their beliefs are set up in such a way that if you try to prove them wrong with actual logical evidence, then it's just more evidence to them of the opposite. The creationists would see it as God testing them, and the TFLers to see it as proof that, I don't know, you're part of the New World Order and you're onto them and you're trying to silence them, and that just makes their belief grow. So I really wouldn't know how to sort of address these people apart from some sort of psychological counselling. And they also seem to be very sort of stubborn as well, and I know this because I'm stubborn, and I can see the patterns. And they are completely entrenched in their views, and they will not change anything, even if they kind of want to, just to keep that feeling that they are right. They want to keep that feeling more than anything, and if that means they have to stay in this sort of self-pitying, woe is me attitude, then they will, but they still have that smug satisfaction that, oh, I'm right and it's just everyone else that's wrong. That is truly delusional, in my opinion. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Q&A video hopefully will be on Friday. Thanks to everyone that submitted questions. Still got time to answer to ask one if you if you want me to answer a question of yours. Leave it in the previous video about my 500 subs, and I'll see you then. Cheerio.